Going into this weekend, we knew that Marvel needed a big number at the box office because, quite frankly, not only was Fantastic Four a lead-in to Avengers Doomsday, and that's how it's being promoted, a new step forward, first steps. We're going into Doomsday, guys, our huge new Avengers team-up movie. You got to watch Fantastic Four. So you knew they needed a big win, but 2025 has already been full of flops. Thunderbolts, Captain Black America, Brave New World, absolute, total, and complete disasters for them. Well, here we are. It's the end of the weekend, and also how is it going to stack up to Superman? And as it turns out, it almost exactly stacks up to Superman's opening weekend at the box office. Fantastic Four First Steps blasts off with $218 million globally. If you remember, a couple weeks ago, Superman opened at $220 million. Now, on Sunday, the same numbers we're talking about now, before they get the official numbers about Monday afternoon, somewhere around that. The initial Superman numbers were about 217, Fantastic Four 218. Those went up a little for Superman. We'll see if they go up or down when the official numbers come in for Fantastic Four. But yeah, almost exactly the same numbers as Superman. And so I do kind of have to say almost exactly the same thing for this opening weekend that I said for Superman. It's a little bit weak. It's a little bit weak when it comes to Marvel opening at the box office because, quite frankly, we have to make some comparisons to other recent comic book movies. Captain America Brave New World opened to $192 million globally. Not all that far off from Fantastic Four. Fantastic Four, certainly a couple tens of millions of dollars ahead of that, but not by a big margin. More worrisome is the fact that it opened below Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. You know, Ant-Man 3, which turned out to be a total huge flop and a money loser for them. That made $225 million worldwide. Fantastic Four off of that. And certainly when you look at something like Guardians of the Galaxy, open to almost $290 million globally when it was all said and done. So this is significantly behind. And similarly to Superman, you can look at those international numbers and be very worried. Now with Superman, the domestic to international split was even more profound than this. $118 million domestic, $100 million international. If you remember for Superman, it was $125 million domestic, $95 million internationally. So a little bit closer, but still very, very low overall for international numbers. And from similar places in Asia, you know, despite Warner Brothers saying, well, it's just because they're American superheroes, they don't know Superman, blah, blah, blah. I think it's much more indicative of the reality and the trends that we've been seeing for comic book movies is that China, Korea, places like this, they are not pulling in the numbers for comic book movies that they used to. They have grown disinterested. A lot of those countries are making their own content, which they're much more happy to support than Hollywood superhero movies. Doesn't mean they won't come out for Jurassic World Rebirth or something like that. When it comes to these comic book superhero movies specifically, it's just not the case. And I think that they should be very worried about this opening. Now, Superman, it was a very so-so opening for Superman as well, just like I'm saying now. Now, Superman's domestic holds have been great. Specifically, the weekday holds. The weekends have been so-so. The weekday numbers for Superman have been great up until this point. We'll see how much Fantastic Four cuts into that. But even as we speak now, Superman just passed $500 million. It will probably pass $600 million. I don't know how much further it will go past that. Maybe 650 at tops, but probably isn't enough to break even at the box office. Fantastic Four would have to have a phenomenal hold with a lot of competition out there as well right now, would have to have the same type of phenomenal holds during the week and stuff like that that Superman has had. And I don't know if I see this happening for this movie. I liked Fantastic Four more than Superman. I think it's a better movie than Superman. I think structurally it's better. I don't think it's cast as well, but I think as a movie, it works better. I think Superman is maybe more appealable to people that just want to go in and chomp on popcorn. It's like scrolling through TikTok videos, basically. And I think probably with families, like younger audience members who might be more excited to go see Superman again and stuff like that. For me, I liked the movie. I give it about a 6 out of 10. I think it was solid. But Marvel can't just be solid when they're in this state, when they've delivered flop after flop. You needed to blow the roof off. You needed a resounding box office victory. Because let's say this thing does creep to $600 million. if we believe the budgets and marketing reported for this, which a lot of people want to believe everything Warner Brothers tells them, but nothing Disney tells them. It's weird how that works. Let's just say that we believe them about the budget and about the marketing, then it might break even at around $600 million, possibly. But it's got a long way to go to get there based on some of these comparisons that we've seen for this opening. A lot of it's going to depend on the hold, but the bottom line is they needed a massive win. Not just because this year's been shit for them, but because this is the lead-in to your next huge, massive Avengers team-up movie. This was the thing that was supposed to get people invested in that. This is the thing that next year when that comes out, you were supposed to get excited about this lead-in. And I don't know if the movie was good enough to do that. And with the response at the box office, the way it has been over opening weekend, we'll see how it all plays out. I think they should be very, very worried about what this hold looks like over the next few weeks for Fantastic Four.